Much of human biology is basically a delicate balancing act. Our skin needs to be a strong enough envelope to protect our insides, and yet still permeable enough to sensation to tell us about the world. The hairs inside our ears need to be sensitive enough to let us know that a child is whimpering in the next room, but not so delicate that we're overwhelmed by each clap of thunder. Our bones need to be strong enough to give us structure, but light enough that we can still carry ourselves around. Too far in either direction and function is lost. Our differences, our abilities, the things that make us unique, all are simply variations on the middle ground. The most basic, or most acidic balancing act is the one known as pH. Almost everyone is familiar with the concept of acidity, either from horror movies where someone is threatened with acid, or from high school chemistry classes. But very few people actually know what pH means, or why it's so important to understand its role in the human body. pH is actually an acronym for the power of hydrogen. It's not a superhero thing, it's just from the German. And it talks about how many hydrogen ions are in a solution. Behold, the power of hydrogen! So much more exciting than the power of cheese? Anyway, like earthquakes, pH is measured on a log scale. Lower numbers correspond to more acidic pH. What does pH affect in the human body? You'd be amazed. Enzymes, the proteins that control the chemical reactions of the body, are optimized to work at particular pHs. Those enzymes that are optimized for the stomach, for example, work best at the pH found there, around 2. And the body has evolved ways to take advantage of this fact. For example, it may make the enzymes someplace else, and then transport them to the stomach where they will become active. Acidity is also involved in the body's protective systems. Phagocytic cells, the cells that are responsible for eating the bacteria and viruses that get into the body, destroy the invaders in an acidic department known as a vacuole. I may be prejudiced because it's what I wrote my doctoral dissertation on, but I think that one of the coolest uses of pH in the human body is the reproductive tract. A healthy woman's vagina has a pH of approximately 4, less acidic than the stomach, but far more acidic than the rest of the body. Most sexually transmitted disease pathogens are actually killed or inactivated at pH 4, and so is sperm. So how is it that people manage to get pregnant or get STDs? It turns out that semen is a very strong neutral buffer. In other words, it's a solution that holds its pH and resists changes. Masters and Johnson in the 1960s discovered that when a man ejaculates into a woman, the vaginal pH becomes neutral and stays that way for several hours. That provides sperm, as well as pathogens, a window of opportunity to do what they need to do. You may have noticed that I've been cooking something, and I hate for you to think that I'm not giving you my full attention. I've actually been making up a batch of litmus. Litmus is a dye used to test pH. It's pretty cool stuff. Originally isolated from lichen, it's also found in red cabbage, which is what I was boiling, and hydrangeas. The color of the cabbage, or hydrangea blossoms, is actually based on the pH of the cells that the litmus is stored in. The more basic it is, the bluer the flower. Political litmus tests were pretty similar. Well, at least they tell you how irritating a politician is going to be on any particular issue. Now that I've boiled the cabbage long enough to release a dye, I can demonstrate to you how it works. In the two things in front of me, I have baking soda, which is very basic, and vinegar, which is slightly acidic. You'll see that when I add litmus to the baking soda, it turns a lovely shade of blue. And when I add it to the vinegar, it turns a lovely shade of purple or red. It's actually a very useful dye, and more importantly, after you've finished making a batch of litmus, all you need is some corned beef and you've got an excellent dinner. So once you've dyed your stuff different colors, the really fun thing to do with it is make it go fizzy, 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 which is what I'm going to do now.
Ooh.
Because bubbles mean a chemical reaction has taken place, and then you get this really pretty shade of purple with blue mixed in. Scientific art. Thank you. I'm Elizabeth Bosky, and thanks for watching.